everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to Twinset and Purl's knitting podcast. This is episode 69 and we're here in...
Very sunny.
Yeah, it's sun. Well, I wouldn't say summer has come to the UK.
It's supposed to get to 21 degrees today.
It's 21.
It's still that kind of
as soon as the sun goes in.
Yeah, it's warm in the sun, but not as... And
We
it's
went-
cold in the morning.
We went out for dinner last night and we sat out. Chris wanted to sit outside
and it got
and
cold.
then the sun went in and I was freezing.
Yeah.
Boy, did I moan.
Well, I was saying
wouldn't go in.
My friend and I just went out for lunch and we got in the car was really warm when we got in and she said my hands are freezing, and I grabbed hers and she's like, yours are freezing too. I said, yeah,
Always got cold hands.
I'm a cold-blooded animal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So it's Friday the 11th of April and we haven't had rain for a week in the UK. Did it rain? Has it rained?
I don't think so.
We've had the washing outside, which is always nice.
Yeah, no, it's been lovely.
It's been really lovely. Very cold in the morning, so you have to wear a coat to work and then carry the bugger home, which is really
annoying.
Really frustrating. But yeah, had a great week. Have you had a good week?
Yeah. I'm
Lots of knitting?
lots of knitting, a few hospital visits.
Planned though.
Planned, no unplanned
So
designs.
that's always a good thing.
But it's a good thing. I had to have a little break from my chemo, and I'm back on chemo now.
That's good.
So that's always a good thing.
And I went to visit my dad.
Oh yes, you did.
Our dad.
You could keep calling him my dad at the moment.
Yeah.
Today I was just thinking, what did we do last weekend? Oh, you weren't there. Although I did talk to him quite a lot. I felt like I was part of the weekend.
Yeah. We had a great time. So I flew on Friday afternoon.
Oh, I've got the picture of him wearing, he's really cute.
Yeah. I flew on Friday afternoon and it was delayed, which was a bit frustrating.
Here he is wearing his Simon Cowl.
Aww. And we spent Saturday morning going through all of his clothes and throwing away old things and things that can't be redeemed. And then on Sunday we went and bought him a few new things.
He was saying that he had maybe too much to say, but he had some vests that he brought onto the island with him when he moved when he was 70. And I was thinking, but I've got some that I had before. I've got tops from before I met Mark, so I can't really say anything to him.
Yeah.
But obviously his wife, our stepmum.
Well, I said to him, if the holes weren't around the neck, you could keep wearing them.
Yeah.
But because the holes are like, it's where the fold comes on the t-shirt and it rubs and you get like that disappears.
Yeah. Anyway, she sorted him out.
Anyway, I sorted him out. Bought him some new vests, some new trousers, a new
jacket.
We treated him to a gilet between us, and I bought him a denim jacket because he's wanted a denim jacket for ages. So he's looking very dapper, very coordinated, and
he's doing really well.
Yeah. And then he came with me on the bus to the airport, and he had brunch breakfast for his lunch. And then I left him still eating it because it was a lot, and I had to go through security and get ready to leave. And then the flight home was 15 minutes early.
Well done.
So I managed to get through. Bus was straight there, straight into town.
That's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah. So it was
Definitely.
great. And all in all, we visited the yarn. The yarn
we'll talk about that later on.
That makes the local yarn, and I bought some, so I'll show that later on.
And we've got quite a lot of acquisitions this week.
So first is the admin.
Yes. So the winner. So last time we had a giveaway from East Anglia Yarn Show.
We'll just quickly show what it was. It's this little pouch, which would be good for DPNs or
crochet
like extend. Oh, it's a funny.
Where?
Your phone is reflecting on my face.
All right. it my
I
phone?
think it's
Oh,
whatever's
sorry.
anything metallic there. So yeah, so there's a little pouch with a good sheep and a bad sheep. A notebook project planner from Tilly Flop, which has got lots of little quotes and things in it, which is it's a lovely thing for any maker. Then we've got a Mammy and Florrie drawstring bag, and in there is some of Rachel's leftovers, which sounds a bit I don't know, but there's a lot of them, and you can't get this yarn anymore. So
and it's also, there's enough to make a pair of socks in each of the colourways.
Yeah, and you get two minis with each one.
So you could mix and match. I mean, some of them go quite well with both. But
so you've definitely got enough to make two pairs of socks,
and that we thought was good because of the sock knit along that we've got going at the moment. So you could join in or do whatever you want.
That's
really.
the giveaway prize,
and
that was people who commented on the last episode got put in for that. We had 80 comments,
and the winner is Sally Hart 7652, and she's crocheting a top, a tee, yeah. So Sally, get in touch. Our information is in the description box below, or it won't be there for a little while until Jo's done it. So if you look on the previous one, you can get our information, and email me your postal address, and I will
pop that in the
post this week for you. And then that I just a minute ago mentioned the knit along.
Yeah.
So
so we started on.
We haven't brought ours this week because we've both been
I've got mine with me, but I haven't done very much.
No, we've been
very focused on
Alexander's and one other thing that I'm going to show. So we're not going to show what we're doing for the knit along at the moment, but I'm hoping to finish mine this month.
Yes.
And start and knit. I want to knit a pair of shorties. There's two shorty patterns in the Botanical. Is it my watch? There's two shorty patterns in the Botanical yarn 2 years of socks, and so I'm going to knit one of those.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to knit the Pickety Pink socks because Angela Makes NI has knitted them in a beautiful yarn, and it's called, I just saw the post in the group, it's a lovely name as well. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, start showing the prizes. We brought.
So you've got some Botanical Yarn sock yarn as the prizes. So there's this Yorkshire Yarn Fest sock set, which comes with this lovely gold mini, and it's like peaches and peach with some red and gold speckles, and it's a really lovely set. And then we've got Botanical Yarn Coasling.
It's called Tickle Fight.
This is the Coasling colourway, and it's a lovely,
that's beautiful, isn't it?
like a plummy colour with rosy plum colour with some peach and some nice sort of dirty gold down there, which is one of my favourite colours. I don't know what colourway that is.
I think it's crocus. It might be the first ever sock club colour, which was, I designed a pattern with a crocus.
Yeah. And then we've got another one without a name.
Yeah.
But that's lovely. That's a pink, real proper pink with these speckles on again. That feels slightly different. Are you sure that's
yeah, that's sock yarn.
And then we've got YYF theme autumn leaves for the final skein of yarn.
So there's
how are we doing this? Are we doing?
I think we'll just
5 prizes.
Yeah, and they might find some other bits when I start looking. So there's 4 of those. They could have one each rather than sending the whole lot out.
Or we could do one big prize.
We're going to do a main prize.
We could do a main prize. Have that.
No, I think those two are too similar.
Oh, I thought they went quite well together.
I know, but it's for socks. It's not for.
It doesn't have to be for socks, does it?
No. We'll
How
make
about?
it.
Well, yeah. Well, we're going to put them together and have one main prize.
Yeah. So there's those stitch markers from Unwrapped Yarn, which are Easter eggs, and it's kind of Easter in the middle of the thing. But, and then there's this Botanical Yarn bag.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then there's this one. This is a special. This is the Twinset and Purl Botanical Yarn Sock Club bag. So, yeah. So maybe 2 prizes of a bag and then those in a bag and then just one skein. I don't know.
We'll sort something out.
Also, honestly,
When we draw the final one, you will know.
I know there will be
combination.
There may yet be more
Yes.
yarn prizes because I've got plenty more botanical yarn that I'm probably never going to get around
I
to
think I've
knitting
got some bags as well.
because I have so much of it that I possibly won't get around to knitting. Yeah, there's definitely some mini skeins set like a fade that might be good. Yeah, so those are the prizes, and the Cowl ends at the end of May. And so, and the prizes, that's what we could do. We could do a Facebook prize and a main Facebook prize, a main Ravelry prize, because we've started a Facebook group.
The details are in the show notes.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a picture of FO's botanical sock, and then you reply to that post, and from that we will pick a winner, and just show us a little picture of your finished sock, and you can join in both. I would just say join in both if you want, because not everyone's on Ravelry and not everyone's on Facebook. But now on Facebook you need
the patterns are on Ravelry. And then you can get them either as an individual pattern, and they're £5, or you can buy an ebook, which is a quarter at a time.
3 patterns.
So you get 3 patterns for how much?
I think I think they're £12.
And then there's also a discount.
Maybe £10. You get
as a podcast watcher, you can get a discount, and that is also in the show notes.
Yeah. And as I was talking about that, then there was something in my brain that made me think there's something else you want to say. Now I can't think what it was. Anyway,
I think we should do something like an extra prize if you're the only person who knits that pair of socks. That pattern.
So
maybe there might be a surprise, like a special prize.
Yeah.
I'm going to a special Joe prize.
But please join in, and you can post on Facebook and on Ravelry. We want you to post on Instagram so we can see what you're knitting. But the FOs, and that's only you have to knit 1 sock to join the FOs. So hose, really. Let's be hose. And so post in either of those 2 to win a prize, and then
if you join the Facebook group, please answer the questions.
Yeah, otherwise we
won't let you in.
Otherwise we have to. Unfortunately, we have to send you a message saying please answer the questions. So, but I noticed on our Ravelry group, over 300 people now. So that's quite good. So yeah, so join in the fun. It is fun.
Yeah, I was really enjoying my sock, but I've been a bit distracted by Alexander's this week.
I've been knitting socks as well, and yeah, so I'm going to do it. I was going to cast on some more, but I'm not. I'm going to do that one.
Yeah.
So the other thing is to say that every month we pick a prize, we pick a winner from we've got a thread in Ravelry group that is show us what Twinset and Purl patterns you're knitting. So that's WIPs. That's
Yeah,
what
you don't
finished.
have to have finished it.
No, just tell us. And also, we'd like to hear whether you like it or not. You know, you can.
We like to see the yarn that you're using, the colours
lovely.
that you're doing.
So, and we pick that winner between us. We both have a look and we pick. So March's winner, because this is our first podcast in April. So March's winner is judypam. And judypam had 2 entries in March. One was for the Simon Cowl and one was for the Claire Shawl. And her Claire Shawl is absolutely beautiful. And I think she said it's dandelion and dog. I asked her what yarn it was, and it's dandelion and dogwood, and some Yarn Smith mohair held double. So I'd be interesting. I might ask her if what she thinks of the Yarn Smith.
No, not use that.
No. So yeah. So
we've got. I think the light is going to be very strange today.
do you want to put the lights on?
We could do.
I'll just do it on my phone. Does that help?
A little bit.
So, yeah, so if you're joining in one of the Cowls or anything like that, post on there as well and you get a chance to win a prize. And the prize is a pattern from Ravelry.
Any pattern.
Any pattern.
Up
Any
to
designer.
Up to £10.
Any designer. Not us necessarily. Happy to send you a pattern of ours, but, you know, yeah.
And we were chatting with Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit earlier in the week, and one of her pattern prize winners wanted one of my patterns that's in the knitter.
And you have to buy the book.
And they're not, I am putting them together. I'm reformatting them so that we can put them up for sale in our
But they're not going to
Ravelry store. But she was saying you can buy the magazine for £6.25. So
yeah,
people get 10 patterns. Then who's going to want to buy one of my patterns for?
Well, I think the difference is that your patterns actually they put you as can you sit and when you can see them.
You have to put them and
tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about whether because they're not formatted like Jo does her pattern. Her patterns, they are different. So you're doing them how you like them, aren't you?
Yeah. So
let us know what you think. And the other thing that I wanted.
Have you remembered?
I have, yeah. So we're thinking about our next knit along, and they could run concurrently because it's a it's like a cat watching it.
I know, there's a light.
It's my
round.
watch. Should just take it off. We were wondering if you fancied having a Lady Violet sweater knit along. Cal. And
just remind me, Lady Violet is DK.
It's knitted on 6mm needles with fingering and mohair or surrey held. Fingering and mohair or fingering and surrey held double. And
held together.
Yes. One of each thread. And I can't remember the gauge off the top of my head, but just let us know if you think if you'd like to join in something like that. Could easily be.
I've only ever knit one, and I knit it in the.
You suggested it.
I know. I knit it in. Is tech. Lopi.
Right.
And it is itchy as itchy. And it's fine in the winter, but I want one that I can wear.
So we were thinking you can very easily turn it into a tee.
Yeah, and I was thinking I might knit mine in a
like 3/4
bell.
It's got. I think the pattern's 3/4 length sleeves.
Do you think it would work with better drops bell?
I've knitted one in bell with a different.
Did you go down a needle size?
I didn't. It came out. I think it's quite big. You could do a size smaller.
Yeah.
And see.
Anyway, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so we're thinking that,
and that would start at the beginning of June.
or it could overlap if people are interested. We could start it on the 1st of May.
Yeah.
And it takes...
I'm in Tenerife.
Takes
but you can start it in
2 skeins of...
How about we start it on the next podcast?
Yes. Which is probably going to be the 10th of May, we think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to... it takes 2 skeins, 200 grams skeins of fingering and 2 skeins of mohair. So, or DK yarn if you like the gauge, you know, you can, it's a raglan, it's very easy to modify. And if we did it as a knit along, we could have a post on the Facebook group, and then people could ask questions and stuff like that about how to change. Because I'm thinking of knitting, I've got some DK cotton, navy blue cotton, I was thinking of knitting it at a different, at a smaller gauge. But yeah, just let us know if you're interested in doing that. If not, Joe and I are going to be knitting a Lady Violet together at the same time. So yeah, and then the last thing we want to talk about, mention is...
in the admin section, there's going to be more to talk about.
There's actually... Oh, we'll talk about stuff when we talk about it.
Yeah.
He features quite highly this episode as well. Again, is the new yarn show that is next month, Big Flock at Bristol, and
is it the Big Flock?
It's the Big Flock, and it's the.big.flock at on Instagram, and follow them. John has done some amazing.
He did a whole walk through the video,
advertising and everything. You know, like really, not advertising, but you know, promoting it, and all that kind of stuff. And I think, I mean, we've been spoilt by them. You know, we've got to show you there. We got some of the yarn. They did a colourway for us, and then they did a whole thing about us as designers at Flock, and we have a booth. We're stand 8, and we will in hall 1, and so we're going to be there the whole time. Come and say hi. Joe's going to be doing some little demonstrations on how to put your crescent shaped shawl on.
Well, any shaped shawl,
and
but there'll be some of the vintage designs, and some of the brand new designs there. So come and have a try on of a style.
I'm going to release that weekend. I've got a cowl with the Cowl kitchen, but I've designed a Twinset and Purl sock to go with the Twinset and Purl yarn, and so that will be ready for Big Flock. And
I don't think my shawl's going to be ready.
No.
So it will be there for people to see.
Yeah.
But
it'll be in testing.
It'll be in testing. Yeah. And we're going to have a QR code on every pattern, every sample, so you'll be able to go directly to the pattern to purchase it. And
we'll be there to help if you've got any problems, and we'll have.
We can advise on
and we'll have
pieces
of paper for you to write things down on, all sorts of things. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
And
so that's, what day is it?
It's the 17th and 18th of May, Saturday and Sunday.
And it's in Bristol, but it's right on the outskirts of Bristol at the university.
When you come off
University of the
M4,
West of England.
Like M4, M32, isn't it?
Yeah, so you come off the M32, the first junction of the M32. Actually, I think it might be junction 3. But anyway, whichever end. But it's like you come off the M4 and you're on the M32, and then you come off straight away. And it couldn't be easier to get to. And the venue looks amazing. Yeah. And we're go and buy your ticket.
We're there all weekend.
Yeah.
And we're staying in the Holiday Inn. I shouldn't say that unless you want to come. sit in the bar with us in the evening. What I mean is there's so many, we've probably said this before, but there's loads of places to stay, and it's I think it's worth coming for both days.
Oh yeah.
And we will be talking about it again on the next one because it'll be the week before.
Yay.
Yeah, there's something else that we need to say because we're not going to be podcasting until Rachel. Should we try to show it now? We're going to go into FOs and
The Rachel Shawl is going to be coming into our...
That's what I was going to say. The Rachel Shawl and the Rachel sock pattern will be coming out in our Ravelry store on the 3rd of May.
So Helen from Nellie and Eve is taking them to Wonderwool, which is
the weekend before.
The 25th. 26th?
I can't remember. Last weekend of April.
Is Wonderwool.
Yeah.
And she will have kits for the Rachel shawl and kits for the Rachel sock. And then they will come back to us the next weekend. So we will be putting those on sale in our Ravelry store. And Alexander goes on sale next Friday, the 18th.
So we're it's counting down.
Yeah. To the Alexander release.
Yeah, and Joe's goal next week is to post on Instagram a lot and promote him. So yes, that's all very exciting, isn't it? But we're going to talk more about the Rachel socks because it's one of my FOs.
Yeah, and Alexander is
one
my
of my
FOs. And it's what we're wearing.
Yeah. So should we go into that?
Yeah.
I'm wearing one of Joe's FOs, and she's wearing one of my FOs. So, this is your first.
Yeah.
You showed this last time, didn't you?
Yeah. I was halfway through.
You can't really see. The sun's shining on me so much that. Shall I take it off to show them?
You can do. Easy enough to put back on if you want it back on.
I love it actually. So this is the small.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
And it's this way round. So this is the small Alexander, and this one is knit with Madeline Tosh Light in the colourway Kitten, which is a merino single, and it's also Kumo from L'Abbe Anime in the colourway Loam.
It looks like Angora.
And it is so soft.
It's like
light.
It's like she's knitted it with a kitten.
If you want a light shawl, substitute one of your fingering weights for Surrey, and it just
the Tosh Light.
Yeah, and it just is.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I love it. Thanks for making that for me.
No.
You little demon.
You won't be. You can wear it, but you're not having it. Yeah. So I think I was halfway through when or maybe a little bit into the decreases.
I can't remember because
anyway, I knit quite a bit on it last week.
You were trying to finish it before you went away.
Yes.
Because you didn't want to take it with. You wanted to
wear it. Yeah.
But not take it to knit. If you know what I mean. It's one of your projects.
Yeah. So I just finished it before I went to the Isle of Man and gave it a steam.
If you follow Joe on Instagram, then
you. So that's much less than a skein of yarn. So if you have one skein of each, and you're not able to get my gauge, knit the small one.
You'll have some left over. It's still big.
Yeah.
It looked really nice on me.
Yeah, it's a nice size.
Yeah,
I think it would make a perfect gift because
it's not as much knitting as
and you don't know whether somebody wants, unless you know somebody wants a big shawl. Then this is a nice,
I think for a man gift to wear, it's quite a nice of that size rather than a big.
And then I also knit this, which is the Alexander Cowl. And it's amazing. Look how, take it off, can you take it off? Where it's got the striped, rather than the reverse garter stripe, it looks so much, the green looks so much darker. Yeah.
Aqua, whatever colour it is.
So this is Santa's Gone Sunday, which is their fingering weight in, I haven't got the numbers. I showed it, didn't I, on the
acquisition. You showed it as an acquisition.
And it's like the aqua colour, aqua sort of spearminty colour, and marzipan.
It's very similar to Knitting for Olive Merino, isn't it?
And it's lovely to knit with, really lovely to knit with. And that's 150-gram ball of each, and this is the large size. So the large size has 11 stripes down it, and there'll be instructions for small, medium and large in the pattern. I finished off mine with a 3-needle bind off at the back, because who's got time to Kitchener when they can do a 3-needle bind off when it doesn't get seen?
Yeah.
So if you love a Kitchener, if you love Kitchenering, do a Kitchener. But that was quick and easy. I just did it on a. I went up 2 needle size, 3 needle sizes, up to a 4.5 needle. But yeah, I just love it. All the instructions will be in the pattern. And then, just in case you have missed the OG, here's the OG.
And I've got, shall I show my whip? No.
So this is the large. He's back to front, but never mind. This is the large Alexander in Santa's Gone Tin Pigant. And this is a really woolly wool. And
but it's lovely to wear.
Yeah, and this is the like.
Do they do
super fine?
like a charcoal and a cream in that? Yeah.
Yeah. They do natural colours in this, and then they do them. I'm not sure. I think they do coloured yarn in the pig in.
They do,
as well. Yeah. And I've enjoyed knitting both of it, to be honest.
When you you do wear this close to your neck, but when it's softer, isn't it, to go?
I mean, it's everybody's got their own.
See, I'd knit one with Surrey because my Simon cowl.
Yeah.
I wear it all the time because it's just to pull on. And
did we podcast after we'd been to Mason's?
No, before.
Because I didn't bring any of that yarn with me.
What did you buy?
All of that Catio.
Oh.
I'll have to do it another time. But that is for a cowl.
Right.
Yeah. And then Rachel's knitting the medium.
Shall I show it? Like that.
Yeah. If we compare this one to the medium one.
I'm going to get this to Claire and John in time for Wonderwall. Because they're going to Wonderwall.
Yeah. Okay, where's the middle? If we just show the difference in depth.
Yeah, 2 stripes.
Yeah.
Is it 2
3
stripes?
stripes. Is my tension that much tighter than yours? Wow.
Well, try it with the large and see.
Ooh,
I've dropped a ball of wool. How annoying. How annoying.
which one am I doing? Yours or mine?
This one compared to this one.
Okay.
Not comparing your knitting, comparing my knitting to your knitting.
I just wondered whether the Surrey made any difference.
Right. Well, that's 2. Oh no, less than 2, look.
Yours is wider. Your tension's different to my tension.
That's the only conclusion we can make.
Yeah.
Can you?
I'll get it in a minute.
Well, we can show the colour.
Yeah.
So I'm knitting mine in Bird Street yarn in the merino yak sock base in Barricane, which is a beautiful tealy navy, I would say.
Yeah, it's gone.
And then the other one is, don't unwind, it's just not winding it, called Hepburn. And it's this kind of old, kind of mustardy gold colour. Old gold, I was saying.
Yeah.
And I have just finished decreasing the second stripe on section 5. So I'm gonna, once I get
We know that once you get onto the next section, it whizzes.
it does. So I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the weekend, actually.
Yeah.
So right, we're going to leave it there because the wall's under the table.
So one of my testers has had somebody make a comment.
I'm going to say something first. 3 of her testers have knitted 2 during the test.
Saying that it's the same as somebody else's design, and it isn't. The stitch is the same.
The stitch isn't even the same.
Well, no, the stitch is similar, but the construction of the shawl is not the same at all. So I think we can all agree that knitting stitches are nobody's.
Knit and pearls.
Nobody owns knitting stitches. They have been part of the world for centuries. But people own the actual pattern they've written down.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to, I don't want to get into a debate about it, but
somebody may comment
yeah,
on some of Jo's design of the Alexander, and there isn't actually another pattern for you to find.
yeah,
That somebody has just designed something and done a tutorial on a YouTube in French. So not accessible to everybody, whereas the Alexander will be. So that's your FOs.
yeah.
So my FOs
Cool.
are quickly show you that I finished my Maloma socks. I haven't got to kitchen at a toe because that's the kind of podcast we are. I said to Jo,
Had you done? You'd got a hoe last.
I finished one last time. And
yeah, and they look amazing in the sun.
and this has been steam blocked. So I think it looks gorgeous.
Mm.
And so these are the always beautiful socks.
Always
Beautiful. And they are in Marion Flory, pumpkin
at the
Botanical Yarns in
Botanical Gardens
in Glasgow. God, it's suddenly gone really dark, look. Apologies for that must have heard me. It's all right again.
And
So I've done 2.
They're coming out in June.
Yeah, they're not coming out. That I blocked it to take a picture for the pattern to get sent to my testers. And then the other sock that I've been working on, which I haven't blocked, has already been test knit. And this is the Rachel sock. So it is the Rachel Shawl pattern. I don't know if you can hold that one up just to. On the front of the sock. And then the back is the first bit of the lace. Excuse me.
Oh, that looks lovely.
Yeah, on the back. And it is in Nellie and Eve. And it's a brand new sock yarn, or her first sock yarn. That has been, if you watch her podcast, her latest episode of podcast, I think it's episode 11. Nellie and Eve, it's so lovely. She always shows the lamb. Well, at the moment it's lambs.
This time of year.
So she shows the sheep and everything. So take a look at that, and she talks in detail about the yarn. I've got a skein of the undyed, which is this lovely grey colour, and this colour is called Foxglove, and it's a very similar pink to the pink that Jo used for the Rachel shawl. Yeah, so the yarn is, I think she said 90% Llanwenog sheep, and in Wales, I didn't know this, in Wales every village almost would have its own sheep breed, because nobody travelled even, like they might have eventually travelled to a market or something somewhere.
Would they not have gone to the
Built Wells?
No, what's the big where they all sing and
don't know.
I can't remember what it's called.
In Llangollen?
Yeah.
Eisteddfod. So it's definitely a rustic yarn.
Is it 100% wool?
Yeah, it's 90% Llanwenog and 10% Shetland, but they are local Shetland sheep. And I think she said it's within like a 5 mile. Everything comes from, and the sheep are traceable. The yarn, the fleeces. It's the fleece from last year, 2024, vintage. And yeah, so this is botanically dyed yarn. And Nellie, Helen is going to be at Wonderwool Wales
with the
socks. They're going to be posted to her next week, and she'll have the socks. She'll have the yarn. She's dyed up some lovely colours. Some.
Are people going to have coming to us for the pattern, or is she going to?
She's going to have the pattern to give to people who buy the kits from her. So the pattern will be available from Helen at Wonderwool, and then her next shop update is the day after the patterns are released.
Right.
So then, by then we can give her the link.
Yeah.
To send people to our patterns, because our patterns went up in price on the 1st of April. So I think she's still going to sell Rachel Shawl at £5, but there will be a discount for the first weekend anyway that we sell it. So yeah, that's all I think I need to say. Apart from, I did find it, because it's rustic. For me, I found it quite hard on my hands, and also doing a pattern. So I'm good with this. She had a beautiful pair of just vanilla socks in the undyed, which I think I'm just going to knit a vanilla pair, and I found it much easier when I was knitting the toes on DPNs, and the heel. It possibly was just knitting on short circulars that made it feel harder to do. So, but it's a lovely repetitive pattern. If you've knitted the shawl, because she sold lots of kits, so lots of people. It's just a really memorisable repeat. And yeah, I'm actually going to knit another pair in some merino sock, which is self-striping, because a lot of self-striping socks are a 4-row repeat, and this is an 8-row repeat pattern. So I thought it would look quite nice on those. So
it's interesting to see what happens when you block them.
Yeah, so the next podcast, I'm waving this sock around like it's a hockey stick.
If you need a boot sock, this is perfect.
Yeah. So next, and some people don't knit socks because they can't get socks without sock yarn without nylon, or like highly processed yarn. So this is perfect, and she's calling it Tread.
I
So
look
look
out.
out. Yeah, so look out for Tread.
I think we need some mittens.
Yeah. You could put, because that's less holy, isn't it? It's a little bit holy, I guess. It's still got the lace. But yeah, so check out in Helen's update. If you're not going to Wonderwool, her update is on the 4th of May, and she will have some of this in the shop. And I think she's realising that she realised from Unravel that she sold a lot, and so she's keeping some back, I think, for the shop update. So anyway, socks are ready, Helen. Really, got to, if you're watching, got to Kitchener the toe, and
You've got a few toes to Kitchener.
I have. I've got 3. Oh, it's ridiculous. I love Kitchenering a toe as well. I finished those last night. So, and I finished those last night as well. And I, but I wanted to get on and knit that one.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Forgive me, people, for not Kitchening my toes. And the blockers, you may ask if you haven't seen them, if you are new here, welcome to the madness. The sock blockers are from Unwrapped Yarn, lovely Claire, who is up near Sophie in Yorkshire and put our logo on for us. So,
and she's going to be doing something with our logo for Big Flock.
So keep an eye out. Yeah, so that's really exciting. So that's my, and I'll just quickly talk about this because it's my Loma.
Go on
then. Then we'll go into the next thing. I showed my chunky yarn last podcast, so feel that. So I've swatched for the cowl, the Myloma cowl, and it is going to be knit on 5 and 6mm needles, and it's
the same orange.
Yeah, it's the same orange dyed, same colourway, and the same pattern. Actually, I decided to go. I wanted to see how big, and I didn't need bigger squares than that.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's
which is the right way?
That's the right way, and that's 6.5, and that's 6, and there's a real difference. There it is.
Yeah, there is. No, there is.
Yeah.
Initially I couldn't see it, but I can see it.
And I thought I wanted it as drapey as possible. So I thought that's why I did it on the bigger started on the bigger needle. But then I just that's just gorgeous. So I see chunky in my future. So yeah. So I'll be casting that on as soon as I finished my Alexander. He is my priority now. And I also need to get my cowl, my crochet cowl into testing. But you know, I've been
how many weeks do you think you need to give people for a cowl?
It'll take you a week to crochet it. It's like 7 repeats of the back.
Oh right.
It's my problem has been that I've just been a bit off the last couple of weeks, and writing patterns not been what I want to do, so I haven't done it. So please forgive me, but it does need to be done because the pattern is coming out at Big Flock. So if you feel like testing a crochet pattern for me, get in touch.
Right, how many whips have you got?
I've got 2, so show me Alexander.
Okay.
I've already shown my Alexander. Not me Alexander, my Alexander. Speak properly, I can hear my mum.
Yeah.
Speak properly. Shall I do my Alexander?
Yeah.
You do your Alexander. Oh, I didn't realise your zip was pink.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, it's peach, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pink. Peachy pink.
So I finished my small Alexander, and I was getting close to finishing the cowl, and in the middle of the week I was working from home.
You're hopeless. Not hopeless, but
no, Tuesday I was working from home, and I was looking at the yarn around my office, of which there is numerous.
A small yarn shop.
And I had wound this Zara ball into a cake because it was falling apart, the Zara ball. And I've had it for years. We were trying to work out how long, but did I put the tag in? On the tag, I think it might be at the bottom of the.
Oh yeah, we
bag.
got.
On the tag, it cost me £12.
And they're now 16.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago it was.
So it's
What
been
was
a few
it called?
years.
Something with Millerberg? No.
It means artist's corner.
Right.
But it was painters.
So we looked at, Joe translated it while I was looking on the Wool Warehouse website to see if, because sometimes they have it in English.
Yeah.
And it didn't, it was just the German.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is Painter's
Studio?
Corner or something like that.
Yeah.
And the number and everything will be in the show notes. But I've had that for a long, long time. I've got 2 of them. So I was obviously planning to knit a big shawl with it just on its own.
Right.
And
It feels like cotton.
yeah, and I've put it together with pampas grass.
Non-superwash.
No, superwash
Alright.
pampas grass from Botanical Yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And I am getting this.
Beautiful.
And it's
So-
just so different from the others.
Yeah. It's so, I don't know, makes me feel mellow.
Yeah.
It's
So
beautiful.
this yarn is so mild, really barber poley. And it's just creating this beautiful fabric.
Yeah, because it's like all the colour, like there's pink and green mild together, yeah. Blue and pink.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
So I'm really enjoying it.
And look, and she's matching it to a
Yeah, I found a bag.
Beautiful. Little grey girl.
Little grey girl bag that it goes with amazingly. So that's something that I was naughty and cast on.
Show them the stitch. Can you show a stitch marker?
I'm using the stitch markers that I bought from Blue Fern Yarn at East Anglia. Little flowers.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. So really enjoying it.
Yes.
Halfway through section 2. You know when you can't put something down.
Are you going to show your sock? No.
I can show my sock.
Because if I talk about my shawl first, then you can talk. I've got one sock to show.
I was going to show my other shawl.
Oh yeah, yeah. So,
No, it hasn't gone quite as far.
good job my floor got clean just today.
How are you going to pick that up?
Can you reach it?
You're so good to me.
She's so much more flexible than I am. Let's face
Only
it.
just.
Let's face it. So my page, I've knitted a lot. It's getting bigger. I have to move it around from bag to bag.
Was it in that bag?
No, it was in my Bird Street bag.
Right.
And
Because it would go over that.
well, it was getting so, but I was going to zip it in the bag by accident. And in the week, I moved it to my yellow suede Hohi Hubio bag. I was going to tell this story.
Oh, yeah.
So these earrings, I don't know if you can see them, I'm wearing, they look like little molecules, like the 3 little circles joined together. I bought in Singapore.
Are they diamonds?
No, it's white gold.
Right.
I bought them in Singapore. I bought you a pair of flowers. I bought these for me because I used to be a scientist. And so I got them in Singapore like 15 years ago.
Was that when you were on the way to Australia?
Yeah. And then I loved them. And then one day I went to choose to put them in, and I found one. thought, oh well, the other one must be somewhere. So I just left it in my jewellery box. And then when I got my Cubio bag, which I have only owned for 9 months, if that, I put my book in the front pocket, and I've got this, it's lovely, Jo gave me this. Let me show it here, it's just here. So this is the Cubio bag, and in the front, there's a front pocket, and in it I keep this yellow heart, stone heart, that Jo gave me. And I was putting my notebook in the front, and I thought, oh, what's that in there next to the heart? There's something, it's a stitch marker or something. And I went like that, and it was my other earring. So I've now got a pair again. And where's it been? That's what I want first of all. And how did it get into
It wasn't with the rabbit's small sock that we got.
How could it get in the front pocket
I know.
of my Cubio bag?
It's the fairies.
So
I wish the fairies could find. So I went on a sock knitting class, and I knit 2 tiny pairs of socks. A pair of tiny socks
in different heels.
And Rachel has a jellycat rabbit that you took to hospital that wears them, and it's only got one.
We do not know where it is.
What has happened? Nobody's touched that rabbit.
No.
And it's lost the sock.
I know, and I've
so
changed.
It must have been frolicking in the night.
I've changed beds since then.
Yeah.
Random.
Anyway,
Back to the knitting.
Is that weird though? So that little thing happens all
Yeah.
the time, doesn't it? Something goes.
Well, it's like when I lost a diamond out of my eternity ring, and my cleaner had been here, and she'd mopped the kitchen floor, and I came in and I saw this little glint, and it was my diamond on the floor that by the cooker that she'd
missed.
I don't know if she'd missed it or she'd flicked it from somewhere else, but it hadn't got into the mop, into the water. Left it on the. Amazing.
Before I got married the first time, I had my engagement ring was a sapphire with a diamond either side. And I'd been to Marks and Spencer's. I've been into town to get my nails done, and I was in Marks and Spencer's buying something. I looked at my ring and I thought, I've lost a diamond. And I looked down and it was by my foot. So I picked it up.
Yeah.
A lady wrapped it in a tissue for me, and I took it to the jewellers and got it put back in. But what's the chances of that?
No, there's no. My friend had a solitaire diamond engagement ring, and she was walking across Euston Station and she heard it ping on the floor. How are you going to find it in Euston Station? It pinged off into the crowd. But she'd only had it a month, so the jeweller had to replace it because it was faulty setting. Anyway,
Back to Paige.
back to the knitting. Paige is now living in my medium turtle bag, which we showed on here.
With the lemon.
Yes, I think lemon is what I would call it. Beautiful.
I think it's clear.
So it's living in there now, and can get squished up and stuff. And I am on decreases. I'm 2/3 of the way through section 4, and
on Page you only have 5 sections.
Yeah, but I think I was here.
Do you think it's similar size to Small Alexander?
Yeah, it's 70 stitches across.
Yeah.
So this is the middle.
Alexander uses more than one skein.
So I think that I hadn't started the centre.
Right.
When last time we podcast. So I've done quite a lot.
I like this colour with blue.
Yeah. So we're going to Oxford Yarn Store again tomorrow. So I'm thinking I might get some. I might do a small Alexander in it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, would weigh nothing.
Yeah, two colours in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe the cowl.
Yes.
And just to make you clear, the cowl and the shawl that pattern, both are in one pattern.
Yeah.
You get both.
So that is Isaiah Soft
Fine. It's like brushed alpaca silk, but it's got yak in it as well. No. No.
Just there's the pattern, there's the label. I'm sure it's got cotton in it.
Oh, Annette had them. It's not. It's silk, brushed alpaca, and yak. You can look on my phone. I can check while you get your other one out.
Okay, so this is the other thing that I took to the Isle of Man with me, and it is Granny Kathleen's buttons. And this design, I'm just waiting now to find out what it is.
63% alpaca, 26% silk, and 11% yak. One.
Okay. So this is Granny Kathleen's.
You were right, Rachel.
You are right, Rachel.
Okay.
Okay. Rachel's right. And the idea behind Granny Kathleen's buttons is that you have a shawl that...
Yeah, you showed.
Yeah, I
bit
showed
of
it last time.
Had you done? You haven't done you haven't finished.
I hadn't finished the cowl.
So you've got another. You've got another
I've
one.
got
of
another
these.
one of those. I've just cast it on.
Right.
So you button it there.
Yep.
And then you button the thing onto the end, and you've got your shawl.
And then that can unbutton.
That bit can unbutton, and that can button to there. And make the cowl.
What if you buttoned the two tails together?
You have a small shawl.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you were out with somebody and it was really cold and you only had one, you could share. Oh. And that would be very Kathleen, wouldn't it?
Because, well, actually, she probably would have given you it if you were cold.
She was such a lovely lady. She was a dinner lady. She was lovely.
She always had a minto in her pocket.
Yeah. And she was the kind of granny who always wore a proper button-up coat and a hat.
Mm-hmm. And the number of times I got told off for not cutting my meat properly. And also I was a very fussy eater and I wouldn't eat the dinner, and she used to make me sit at the table till I eat it.
And so
Mum would be like, oh, let her be.
They haven't been blocked yet. Obviously, when it's blocked, these wavy bits will be flat. And it will be...
It's quite cute though with the scallopy like that. So design feature.
And I've done a new sewn cast off on the edge, which is very flexible. I really like it.
And the yarn?
The yarn is Telling Yarns Resolute in the undyed natural colourway.
And it's been quite amazing because you unpicked the cowl, the centre, didn't you? Because you didn't think you were going to have enough, and now you're going to have loads.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knitted to the middle with one ball.
Yeah.
I was, as far as I was hoping, with one ball. And it was going to be, the cowl was going to be so big. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to rip it back and basically unpick the whole thing and rework my numbers. Or for the pattern, I was going to have to rework my numbers. And then I suddenly had a brainstorm and I didn't. Just had to unpick.
As my father-in-law would say.
Yeah, I just had to unpick quite a lot of it and re-knit. But it's beautiful yarn. It's been lovely to knit with. And it's got this little thread of black, which I think is the warbles. And that just gives it this marley look.
It's lovely.
It's lovely. Very simple. Obviously, I'm hoping when I put it out, I'm going to put out a proper test. I'm not going to try and rush it through. I think this is going to look really lovely because the buttons that I've got are quite, some of them are fancy, some of them are plain, they're all mismatched. And the buttons are going to be the feature because the yarn is so simple, but you could
Have
have fancy yarn and simple
yeah.
buttons or
Nice.
whatever. So it'd be interesting to see what, or you can have fancy and fancy. See what people come up
Do
with.
whatever you want.
Yeah. So this will be the next thing for testing. I need to write the cowl pattern for Alexander before next Friday. So there's that. The test won't come out that soon.
You are going away,
Yeah,
but you could get it started, and if you get before you go,
I could try and do that.
yeah.
So watch this space. I'll probably put.
Otherwise, it will be May.
Yeah, there'll be a message on Facebook, the Facebook group, and Instagram when the test call goes up. And I just a little call out for the stitch marker. That's the Wild Bear fibres. Is it a Wild Bear? These are little sheep's head. Cute. And then this is one that I made myself. A little flower.
I love mine. It's on my Alexander.
Yeah, and the bag is from Bird Street. A Christmas present. Birthday present. Christmas present from Bird Street. Yeah, Claire made it. We had one each. And I've cast on the final tip.
The proof.
The final tip on my prim, because I was on the aeroplane.
Yeah.
Even though I was travelling kind of within the country, I never risk.
No.
I always put my knitting onto prim needles, and I've actually bought some more, which
Or
are
cast
one
it
of
on.
one of
Get
my
on the flight.
one of my acquisitions is some more, and these were the first ones that I had. These white ones.
The annoying thing is that the number comes. The paint,
Yeah, those stripped off. But I love the tip shape. It's like this, like teardrop. And then Arnie and Carlos.
Didn't you break one?
I broke the large. I was knitting. An Aran weight. And the tip broke off on the 4.5 millimetre needles.
You going to show them now? Or
It's never one of my acquisitions.
I've got one more thing to show. Then.
Yeah. So so the ones I've bought are the ones I actually prefer, and when I show them you, I'll tell you why I prefer them.
Okay. I can't wait. So my last WIP, and this is my kind of car knitting, upstairs knitting. Yet another sock, which has not had the toe kitchened on it. And these are my dad's latest
Oh, they're
socks.
really cool. I like them.
And this is James C. Brett Funny Feets with bamboo. And there's more has been purchased because I liked it so much. It's got this lovely sheen on it. I don't know if you can see. And I knitted the second one. I've got to go to that colour, and then I've started the heel.
Guys, gusset's massive, isn't it? Dad, you've got a
Massive
huge
gusset.
gusset.
Yeah, they're slightly. I think they might be a bit baggy.
He'll like them.
But they're summery because they're bamboo. So
he has to wear those
elasticated
elasticated stockings because of his circulation, and so they'll be perfect.
Yeah, and I like the colours.
Yeah.
So I will finish those on, get those off in the post to him. He loved his bee.
Yes, he did.
Progress keeper.
And his other socks, his Norse.
Oh yes, he liked his Norse.
Socks, and my stepmum loved her Simon Cowl. Well, we could just quickly,
go to the Oxford Yarn Store, the Masons in Abingdon.
why didn't bring my Mason's yarn. I'll bring it next
And I
time.
really apologise for the crinkling.
Sorry, I apologise for the sniffing.
Do you want a tissue?
It's one here as well.
So I got two skeins of Funny Feet by James C. Brett because I lost the label of the other one. So this, and I think they
I like those
all.
colours.
I think they all stripe like that one. So the thick stripes and then the thin stripes with.
I wonder what would it look like in an Alexander.
So that one is shade FZB23, 400 metres, and it's 50% wool, 25 polyamide and 25 bamboo. So yeah,
Lovely.
so that's, I think that was called Earth
Yeah,
Shawl.
we looked them up, didn't we?
And then for the last minute, I bought this one, which is FZB19 for some shorties for me for the summer. But I'd have to just quickly show you. I've matched his two socks, and this is how much I had to wind off. So I'm very likely gonna have to find when I get to
The next bit for it to match.
So, but I really made an effort because it's such a long repeat
Yeah,
that I wanted them to match.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bless. And then new Katia sock yarn. I love Katia sock yarn, and
Oh, it looks amazing.
yeah, and Dad likes it as well. So, I think this is for me. And it's Katia Concept by Katia in the Symmetric Socks and More Rainbow Edition, which is superwash merino non-mulesing wool. It's premium socks, and you get but you only get 80 grams. That's why it's not for Dad. And it's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and I picked that colour, which is colour 51, and that is what it, hold that, that's what it knits up like. And then
That's so cool.
picked this colour because I thought they looked like a pair of Christmas, which is colour 52. So
Do you get the dark toe?
I think you must. I think you start like there,
Oh, right.
and then you can knit two.
Ah.
So hopefully, I never knit a
That long a leg.
yeah, or you think no. When you knit from the cuff to the toe, you don't know.
Yeah.
So I usually takes about 35 grams. I usually knit 65 grams for two socks. So there's going to be some left over,
Yeah.
but you obviously wind on to get to
Yeah.
the next beginning. But I don't know.
That one's lovely.
Yeah, I don't know that I will get to have a solid toe. But when I'm going to cast one
Well,
on.
you could always wind on a bit.
Yeah, where it's quite similar. Yeah.
Or just wind on to the side.
Or just do a few more rows in the leg.
Do an afterthought heel.
No, I'd happily do it's got mittens on there. Yeah, one pair of mittens. So yeah,
Beautiful.
we shall see when we get there what happens.
I don't think it really matters. You don't need a solid
No.
toe.
But I might do a solid heel, another colour, but a gusset, heel top and gusset.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like
They're
those.
lovely.
And
I like
that
those
was
too.
there was about 6 different colourways.
I don't remember seeing that.
This is new.
I was
Well,
too
we haven't
busy-
been there for a
I
while.
was too busy looking at the one with the
I
cashmere.
haven't been there for a while, but I have been there without you
Mm.
and bought sock because there was the stripy socks that Dad loves. I knitted all the colours they had. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was then, and then it's all sock yarn. I ordered. So what have you got to show?
I've got Bird Street. and
Oh yeah,
Isle of Man.
that's the next thing that arrived.
Grey Street and Isle of Man.
So we talked a little bit earlier about having a yarn named after us. So this is it. Twinset and Purl by Bird Street Yarn. And it's gorgeous, and it's going to be wound up this afternoon, this evening. And I'm going to knit the
Twinset and Purl
socks. Oh, and it's got the date. The batch was made. Yeah, so keep an eye out. Well, keep an eye out. The next podcast, I'll show you the Twinset and Purl socks.
And I bought 2 more of their friends.
Cool.
I bought, well, I don't know whether Bex is friends or family, but I got Bex Creates on Zebra. So I just love, and needs to be,
Bex actually designed that one, didn't she?
yeah.
For the Christmas box.
It needs to be an Alexander or a Simon, can't decide.
Sorry.
Alexander or Simon, but it needs to be,
I think
One of those.
Alexander because
yeah.
I love the
And then this one is Town and Country Mice,
which is Country Bumps.
Country Bumps and Sophie and Silver Soph
Oh yeah.
and Rachel, Country Bumps friend.
Oh right.
I think it was 3 of them,
Oh right. Three mice.
3 mice. But I loved it.
And then there's
Cuckoo's
Cuckoo's
Quilt.
and somebody else.
I don't know, have a look on their Instagram.
And then
They may
Claire
still have some left in the
said,
shop.
I'm sending you some sock yarn for your dad. Well,
I thought, when she said that, I thought she was
sending
sending
some
a
of
skein
their,
of,
like a
yeah.
seconds skein. What she sent me was 5 balls of opal, and I've already given one away. Hope you don't mind, Claire, if you watch. It's I gave the grey one to my friend. This is the one that he wants first. He loves that.
Crazy Waters
And then there's a blue one,
in the colourway 11316.
and this is colourway 11314. And
It's got a
colourway.
name, but it's in German. Because they've got different
Oh
names.
yeah. This is called Blubberblassenplatz.
And this one's Wellen Kammerreiten. And that one is Wasser Beatenberg. Flutzen Planschlen.
But he will love them. Thank you so much, Claire. I've already said thank you. You
Think
think
find who these people are. Frederick, Heinrich and Felix Vega. She's the lady, Felix.
Don't know. Must be the pictures.
Anyway, socks for Dad.
Yes. So that was. It'll take me a while to look.
That's the rest of the year.
That's the rest of the year sorted. And those are for him. Just trying to fit it all back in one bag. But I don't think it's going to happen. And then I just got this.
Go on then.
I had a little shop at, I don't know why I saw this, but it is from Lindy Hobby, and it's more sock yarn. So it's this,
OMG!
it's Lana Grossa Landlust Socken wool, and this one is a small stripes. and this one's there's no picture of this one, but I think that seems pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
And then
Weird that one's got a picture and one doesn't.
this is wider stripes, or maybe small stripes but more colours. I think that one's for Dad. And then this
quite
one,
patriotic.
this one, I thought I would knit either a Simon or an Alexander. Like
With a
you
navy.
have, yeah.
That'd be lovely.
So
With your Regia silk.
yeah, be perfect. And then the last thing I got were
This
these
is a never-ending bag of yarn.
two. Oh, you need two to make a pair of socks, obviously. And although it would also make a lovely Alexander.
It would.
So I could make two. I could make a cowl
And a hat.
and a hat,
I'm thinking there may be
Or
an
mittens.
There may be now Alexander hat
or mittens.
coming into the.
So yeah, so and this yarn is Mayflower one class tweed, it's called, and it's made in Italy.
What's the tweedy bit?
Viscose. But I just really liked this navy with this dusky pink. It doesn't look pink on there, but it is. It's like a dusky pink tweedy bits, and it's 70% wool, 25% polyamide, and 5% viscose. And I actually think I might do stripy socks and an Alexander. Anyway.
So when
So lots of sock yarn, and it's only April. This all came in March, so that lasted well, didn't it? Sorry, James, going to fix
that's all right. When I arrived in the Isle of Man, my stepmom picked me up at the airport with my dad. I wasn't expecting my dad, so that was a nice surprise. And she said, "Is there anything that you want to do in particular?" And I said, "The only place I really would like to go, seeing as often I go when she isn't there because I go to look after Dad."
And then you can't get around.
Yeah. Well, you can go. The buses are quite good, but the bus doesn't come anywhere near this location. I said I really want to go and get some of the lace weight yarn from the Manx Lawtons, and this Ballasgonahan farm. They have their own flock.
Can I have a look?
And yeah, and they also do charcuterie now, salami and things. And they obviously take the fleece and make their own yarn. And they have just won the Best Farm on the Island award.
Oh, cool.
Because they're very sustainable. Their sheep die of old age.
And they've got like kits.
Yeah. So they're the sheep that the Vikings left behind. And so I bought this yarn. I bought two skeins.
The lambs are born black, and as they mature, the sun lightens the yarn.
And then the old ladies are this pale colour. And Fran bought a hat that had been made, one of the hats on the front.
Oh yeah.
She bought one of those hats because she really liked the colour, and it was an old lady. It was the old ladies. So I bought this. I bought two skeins of this in the single ply lace weight, 50
When's
grams.
the Royal Manx Agricultural Show?
I don't know, but I got two skeins of that. I'm going to knit a shawl, lace weight shawl with it. And then we were chatting, and I was wearing my Alexander Fran was wearing her Simon and Simon Cowl. Dad was wearing his Trillion Cowl. And I said, oh, you know, I design knitting patterns. And he said, oh, the lady who designs our patterns has just passed away. Oh. And then we were chatting, and he said, would you design something for us? It needs to be from 2 balls of yarn because it fits. They send them in a tube,
Yeah.
like that. And they do this mixed yarn, like, what do you call it, marled?
Yeah.
With Shetland yarn. So this is 2 strands of Manx Lawton and 1 strand of white Shetland is the coffee and cream. And then the black and tan is 2 strands of Manx Lawton and 1 strand of black Shetland. And I'm going to design them a cowl in those yarns. And then they'll send them out in these tubes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had some beautiful fleeces, and oh, it was just an amazing place. My stepmom was like, she's never been there.
Wow. And how much does the yarn cost?
So that was £17 a ball. No, I can't remember how much I paid. I could look it up. It's on my phone. I think they obviously do mail order.
Doesn't sound here.
No. Got a feeling I paid £17. So is it £8.50 a ball?
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, they've now got they've had some new buildings built and stuff, and they're ready for the cruise ships to come and do tours around.
And this is DK, by the way.
Yeah, see the sheep.
It's lovely.
But all their patterns have Viking names.
Yeah.
So we have to think of a male Viking name.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering whether there were any Fredericks. Because our stepbrother is called Frederick. And if there's a Viking called Frederick, I might call it Frederick.
That's
So
nice.
it stays in the fam.
Yeah. Cool.
But we will see how we get on. I'm hoping 2 balls is going to be enough. Because I said to him, oh, I might need more than that. And he said, oh, it's got to fit in the tube. So
I think it'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine. But yeah.
Just don't do it too deep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be happening at some point.
Wow, that is a lot of Alexander's, a lot of yarn, a lot of potential Alexander.
Yeah.
And
A lot of socks.
yeah, I'm going to be sock. No, I've already had enough yarn to sock knit. I'm thinking. Anyway,
well, thank you if you stayed all the way to the end. Thanks for watching. We'll be back just before the big vlog for an episode.
Jo's off to the Tenerife.
I'm off to Tenerife. We've got Easter weekend first. Nice long weekend off work.
We are going to see each other, but we're not going to podcast.
I was wondering whether we pop on and do a live for Alexander, but we've probably
Friday.
Alexandered.
No, I think we haven't. We can go on. We can go live. We've got more followers on Instagram than we have subscribers.
Yeah.
On here.
So,
Yeah, wonderful.
Well, in the meantime, everybody, if you're in the UK, enjoy the beautiful weather.
Yeah.
It's getting colder for Easter weekend, typically.
Knit some botanical yarn.
Yeah.
Sock club socks. Joining the Cowl.
And wherever else you are in the world, just keep knitting.
Yes.
Happy knitting, everybody. Keep knitting. And
if in doubt, knit.
yeah, and let us know what you're knitting. We love to hear what people are knitting on, what yarn they're using, if it's local yarn. We just love to hear all of that. So,
and let us know comment below if you're looking forward to
The big flock.
the big flock, or Alexander coming out, or
Rachel Socks.
Rachel Shawl being available. So let us know what you
Yeah.
fancy knitting, as well as what you are knitting. So
I'm going to be casting on a garment, because I haven't knit a garment in ages.
I'm going to be we're going to be casting on.
We are, but not for a
Lady
bit. I might
Lights.
try and sneak in
Another thing
Tolster.
before Lady Five. I've got a shawl buzzing around my head. It's going to happen.
I can knit a Tolster in a week as well.
Yeah.
So that might be happening.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yes. Finish your sock.
Yeah. And you finish your sock.
I will.
Right. Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
See you soon. Bye.